What is anarchy? Anarchy, from the Greek prefix an, meaning no or without, and the Greek noun, it's noun, right? And the Greek noun archon, which means ruler or master. Quite literally, anarchy means no rulers or masters. In other words, anarchy means no masters, no slaves. And that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It sounds nice, nice and freedom, right? Freedom, right? But it has its drawbacks. Of course, nothing's perfect, and everything. Life's full of its lovely paradoxes, and all paradoxes can be reconciled. And that's a beautiful thing. But seriously though, anarchy means no rulers, no masters. It means no masters, no slaves. That's what anarchy actually means. It does not mean chaos. That's a misnomer. Anyway, however, anarchy basically can be chaos because it is idealistic. That's the problem. It's idealism. It is to force one's beliefs on the world, just like any other form of government. That's why I'm not an anarchist anymore. I used to be for a long, long time. Because it sounded really fucking nice, right? Freedom, right? Especially worldwide freedom, I had this chat yesterday about what Luciferianism is and why politics is Luciferian. And now we're talking about anarchy. So let's talk about anarchy. There are different types of anarchy, different types of anarchists. All right, so there's the stereotypical black bloc anarchists, which are fake ass fucking anarchists. They are not fucking real anarchists. If you think that people going around smashing shit up and causing riots and causing trouble, you think those are fucking anarchists? Those are not. Those are fucking fake motherfuckers. All right. It is called it is what's the term for that? It's co-conspirators. That's what they are. They're co-conspirators. They co-conspire with various factions of government and other organizations that want to cause trouble. Because let's go back to the Hegelian dialectic. Part of that is problem, reaction, solution. So what does that mean? That means the government and various corporations, they cause problems in order for you, society, to want their solutions. How does that happen? They cause problems. They blame it on something else or someone else and make you think that you need their fucking pre-planned quote solution. But you don't. You don't have to fall for that shit. Another form of the Hegelian dialectic is when control versus controlled opposition, where both sides, apparently opposite sides, like the Republicans and Democrats, they really ultimately they work together to form the same aim, which is called one government. That's what you have. But on the flip side of that, then you got anarchy, right? You got no government, all right? So what's wrong with no government, you may ask? That sounds mighty nice, right? No, it's not. Nothing in this world comes without a price. So, I mean, you can force your beliefs on other people, but they're not going to like it, and they're going to push back, and they're going to fight back. So, you're better off just not doing it. So different types of people claim to be anarchists. There's different types of anarchy, different types of anarchists. So what the fuck does that even mean? What the hell am I talking about? So there are people that consider themselves to be capitalists and anarchists. They're capitalist anarchists. Anarcho-capitalism, that's what that's called, anarcho-capitalism. And then there's people that are socialists and claim to be anarchists, and they call themselves anarcho-socialists. All right, so we have capitalism anarchism, and we have socialistic anarchism. What the fuck does that even mean? One would think that doesn't make any sense. That's the total oxymoron, right? Especially socialism anarchism. How does that make sense? Because socialism doesn't have to do with government. I thought it did. Um, anyway, let's start with capitalist anarchists. All right, now that sounds mighty nice, right? Get rid of capitalism, or get rid of the government, and then you have open territory for business, right? For free markets, right? Free markets. But the problem with that is, you know what you get? You get rule by corporation. That's what you get, which is honestly even worse than government, because you know what? Corporations don't have the general public in mind. It's all just for profit. It's just for their own self needs. It's not about the public sector at all in that regard. So that's probably not a good idea. And then and that's actually what I was standing for a long, long time, years and years ago, before I even realized that there was a third option in the anarchist sphere. So I don't know if I could really explain to you what socialist anarchist is, because I'd never really got involved in that. Really, I never understood how that worked out, really. Honestly, I really don't. Perhaps I should research that a bit and make another fucking video on it. Right now, I'm just practicing making videos because I still kind of suck at this. I'm kind of new at this. And just talking off the top of my head for 10 minutes about anything can be kind of challenging for me sometimes, especially on tape. So I'm just practicing. Anyway, back to anarchism. So what is the third anarchist option? All right. So there's capitalist anarchists and there's socialist anarchists, which is anarcho-capitalism, anarcho-socialism. Well, the third option is basically just straight up fucking anarchism. Or really, well, it's real anarchism. It's spiritual anarchism. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Really, ultimately, what it really is, it's light Luciferianism, is what I'm really getting at here. Which goes back to idealism and why it's so dangerous. But anyway, from a true anarchist standpoint, from a spiritual anarchist standpoint, ultimately, well, first, I mean, you gotta learn a thing or two about metaphysics in general to understand that, regardless where you are in your political or spiritual type mindset. But you gotta realize that God is everything. That everything on this big blue and green and brown planet, and everything, the entire universe, literally is God. We're all one. And that's the whole point, is that no man has control over another man. Ultimately, what it comes down to, really, is rights. What is a right? You tell me, what the fuck is a right? What's the difference between a right and a privilege? I wonder. Because honestly, you know what? No one knows what the fuck this even is. No one even fucking lives by this. People say our rights come from God. Guess what, boys and girls? They don't. They come from government. That's where your rights come from. At least that's how we live. That's how the whole fucking world lives. Because if rights came from God, you know what? There would be no differences in governments. The laws would be the same for every single person in the world. Every person would have the same exact rights. And that's the whole fucking point, is because we should have the same rights. We're all human beings, man. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, ultimately, they tell you rights come from God, but really, the way everything's set up is that actually come from government. Because if rights came from God, then everyone would have the same rights everywhere, all over the planet. You know? But the fact of the matter is, the government, they fucking declare morality or whatever, ultimately comes down to objective morality versus moral relativism. You know, objective morality is basically saying that there's an objective stance to morality and to right and wrong. Ultimately, what is right, you have a right to do. What is wrong, you don't have a right to do. And the difference between right and wrong is whether harm is caused to another living being or not. That is, whether you cause harm to another person. I mean, ultimately, even really, I mean, this is where it gets really fucked up and tricky. Because you know what? I'm not vegan. I actually spent a few years going down the vegan route, you know, because I do have a lot of sympathy for animals. It's just fucked up, all the things that happen. But, you know, it's a really complicated subject. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, we shouldn't be treating animals with as much harm as we do. And it's really fucked up, all the factory farming and shit that goes on that most people don't know about, want to talk about, whatever. But regardless, the fact of the matter is, I'm not saying that you don't have the right to eat meat. That's not what I'm saying. And that's ultimately, if you take it too far, that's where people go with that. But ultimately, the fact of the matter is, in general, you don't have fucking rights to hurt other people. You don't have rights to torture other animals. You don't. And ultimately, it comes down to the objective between right and wrong being that a right is what does not cause, a right is a behavior taken by a human being that does not cause harm to another sentient being. That's what a right actually is. It's a behavior that anyone can take that doesn't cause harm to another sentient being, to another person or animal, or even the planet, really. But ultimately, so that's if that's the basis of spiritual anarchy, is that everyone is expected to be altruistic enough to respect the rights of other living beings and whatnot. But the thing is, though, we don't live on a planet that is set up that way. Ultimately, this is a testing ground. It's a ground for growing and developing one's consciousness and spiritual fortitude. And in having said that, you kind of have to play around in the muck a bit and get your hands dirty and fuck up some things. Cause some problems. Go through the trial and error, and was saying that you're never going to have a perfect planet where no one ever gets harmed. That's fucking pipe dream utopia. It's not going to fucking happen. And I don't know what the perfect solution is. I'm not offering you the perfect solution. I'm just trying to get you to think about different types of anarchy, because that's what this video is about. Ultimately, I'm just trying to open up some new perspectives to people that haven't really given this much thought, and practice making some videos and just saying some things, some topics I know about, because I grew up around politics. My parents always shoved that shit down my fucking throat. Ultimately, my dad was a libertarian, which is kind of close to being an anarchist, to being on the capitalist side of anarchist, which is why I went down that road for a little while, trying, I guess, to some degree, trying to impress my old man, or whatever. I mean, that used to really connect us with politics until I realized how fucking bullshit capitalism really is. And I'm not trying to say that socialism is any better, because it's fucking not. But however, capitalism's still a bunch of bullshit. That's just what it is. If you don't think that, you think whatever you want. But look at fucking Monsanto. All you gotta do is look at the fucking bullshit fucking quote food industry and read the fucking labels at the fucking store and just examine how much they're fucking poisoning you, and ask yourself, why do these people, why do these food corporations, why do they tell me when something is they always tell me when something is organic. They tell me if it's non-GMO, but they don't tell me when it is. They don't tell me shit unless it's a selling point. And the fact of the matter is, the government that's supposed to protect us from these corporations, they're actually working with the corporations. They're fucking in bed with them. It's straight up fascism. That's what it actually is, technically speaking. It is fascism. It is the government and corporate working together. And that's where we're at, folks. Anyway, like I said, I gotta practice making these videos, because I gotta practice talking on camera. And so I'm just going to talk about shit that I know of off the top of my head. I don't have to do a whole lot of research for it. I can just tell you that government is bullshit, anarchism is bullshit. You got to find the happy medium in between. That's all. I guess that's my point here. And I'm still trying to find that. But everyone always wants to fucking argue and blame the other guy like it's all his fault. They don't want to look in the mirror. They don't want to look in the mirror on their own fucking party. If you're like fucking Trump supporter or Biden supporter or whatever, you want to blame the other guy and not look in the mirror on your own guy. Cause that's how it always happens every fucking time. They always fucking blame the other guy. Never fucking look into what the bullshit their own fucking party's doing, because both parties are fucking bullshit and they're both working together. And anyway, the fact of the matter is, capitalism. There's three types of anarchy that I know of anyway. There's capitalist anarchists, there's socialist anarchists, and there's real fucking anarchists, which are spiritual anarchists. And which has really nothing to do with capitalism or socialism. In fact, it sees both of those systems as bullshit, which is what I'm saying. But however, spiritual anarchism is also fucking bullshit, because it's idealism. And it's still it's the same fucking thing as the tyrants on the other side, on the fucking world control side. You're still trying to force your fucking beliefs on other fucking people. And so that's why it's bullshit. Anyway, it is a really beautiful day, and somehow I always get caught up on talking about things or thinking about things that somehow piss me off. I don't know. I gotta tell you though, boys and girls, brothers out there. So I'm mostly making this channel for men, but y'all ladies that want to listen up, y'all can. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, there are many things in this world that you're not gonna like, but you just gotta let go and just relax and focus on making yourself better, because you can't change a goddamn thing in the external. All you can do is change your own mind and your own heart, and the more you do that, the more things in general in the external, they get better. I don't know how it happens exactly. I'm gonna make another video about this, but it all springs from your heart. Everything springs from your heart, and we all have our own universe that literally comes. The center of it is your heart, but all these universes are all connected as one grand, some type of multiverse that literally is the mind of God. Literally, you are God. Just want you to know that. But don't let that go to your head, to your precious fucking ego, because that's the devil right there. Your ego is the devil. And that's it, really. That's exactly it. Your higher self, your connected self, literally everything you are is God. And that separateness within yourself that claims you to be only your physical fucking body and your perspective of the world as you fucking see it, that's your ego. And that's the devil. And it's a fucking metaphor, boys and girls. Men out there. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna say on this. So if that triggers someone out there, much love, brother. I love you all the same. I fuck the Pope. Anyway, let's see. Seriously though, back to Anarchy. And I think I'm just babbling, so I think I'm gonna end this video right here. Anyway, God bless, much love, and have an amazing day. Peace.